This is the built-in on-screen keyboard that can be found in the ease of access area for Windows 10. This not only gives you an on-screen keyboard that you can type with as you would perhaps the keyboard you'd have on your cell phone if you have a smartphone. When you type, you can move a mouse around and land on letters. And as you're doing that, you'll see there's an area in the top here that is doing word prediction, which helps the process along. I'll try again with my focus now on this text document. So I can do T, H, and then I can finish the word this. I as a test. So this gives somebody that doesn't have access maybe to being able to use the keyboard in a traditional, whether it's a laptop or a desktop computer external keyboard. They might be using a mouse, a joystick, some other kind of pointer controlling device to make the choices of picking these keys on the keyboard, and it would give them access to using the keyboard. And another feature that's available for people if they're using a switch, and people may wonder what a switch activated input is. A user could have a switch that they tap with their finger, which is a small button that's connected to the computer, or they could tap on like the space bar on a computer. So within the options area down here in the lower area of the lower left area of this on-screen keyboard, you can pick options. And one of the choices here is scan through the keys. And when you pick this scan through the keys, you can see they've got a faster and slower. As people get more proficient at using an on-screen keyboard in row column scanning mode, they might crank up the speed to the left-hand side here. And with this one, the current default is spacebar. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and choose OK. And then what you'll see when I have this activated is you'll see it'll bounce back and forth between highlighting the left side and the right side. And as soon as I pick with the spacebar in this case, it will start working its way down the rows and do that in increments as well. And the whole process of it doing that is to be an efficient way to make keyboard selections without having to have it scan through every key in the keyboard one at a time. It breaks it into half the keyboard at a time. You pick half, and then it goes row by row. You choose something, and then you can do the cycle again. So I'll just do a short sentence, and you can see how that looks. And when I'm making the selection, I'm doing that, as you can see with our choice here with the space bar. So I hit the space bar, and you'll see it works its way down the keyboard. And now it's going to go through these choices that it's made. And then when I'm in an area where the letter I want is, I can have it work its way through the same way. And you'll see up above that it allowed me to pick the word the from these choices. And I'll go ahead and turn off that option. Setting it back to click on keys. Another choice you can have within this is to have it use a click sound so that you get some sort of auditory feedback when you're picking keys. And you can have this choice of hover over keys, where if you choose the hover over keys, as long as you're over a key for X amount of time, then it will make the selection in there. And that gives somebody that needs a little more time to make selections the ability to do that. Or it could be used if someone was using a kind of an eye gaze to move a cursor around. All of these are options for people to use. And also another useful bit of information about having this on-screen keyboard. If you find you're in the middle of something important and one of your keys stops working on your computer and you have to get something done, you could bring up this on-screen keyboard and finish what you were doing. Especially I've seen it like if a password is not being accepted because one of the letters in your password is broken on your keyboard, you could go in and make use of this and then get your keyboard fixed and be back on your way. So I'm going to finish up with showing how I got this on here. I chose to start out with this already in place so that it takes up a lot of the screen. But I'll go ahead and dismiss it and then bring it back to show how you activate this on-screen keyboard. So within Windows, like we've done with other usability choices with the ease of access, if I do the Windows key and the U as in universal keyboard combination, I can bring up this ease of access area. And then in the area where it says keyboard on the left-hand side, up at the top here is this choice, use the on-screen keyboard, currently off. And they also have a keyboard shortcut, Windows key plus Control plus U, or plus O, I'm sorry. So Windows key plus Control plus O to turn that on. So I'll go ahead and do that as well. Windows key, Control, and O. And that also is another shortcut way of bringing it up and having it available to use.